So, see, today's session is purely hands-on application around AI and AI tools, and there are multiple use cases, right? Right from creating content to actually figuring out personalization to expanding, like how do you uh, sort of augment yourself to be present at multiple places at the same time without losing personalization. There is enough use case across the board for AI application, and we'll walk through everything across the board. Right now, before we start, there are few things, right? So I would also want to understand what is the level of understanding in terms of tools. So how basic do we want to start, or how advanced do we want to go? And second, some of these tools are going to be free tools, some of these are freemium tools, some of these are paid tools. So you will have to pick and choose in terms of what aligns the best for you. The whole Any of these companies that are charging in terms of tools is predominantly because OpenAI is their backend infra, and OpenAI charges for token and consumption because they incur costs on compute and GPUs and across the board, and that's how these models are priced, right? Having said that, let's quickly dive in. Let me share my screen, and is my screen visible to everyone? Is my screen visible?
It is. Thanks.
Okay, awesome. Perfect. Why the we all know we're here for AI for counselors. Okay, there is something that has gone off in the presentation, but okay. So what I was trying to say was, okay, I'll quickly update also. I think something went bad with the presentation, and that's a bad start, but okay. Right. So if you look at it, right, ChatGPT and OpenAI, the first billboard ads that they put out, right, were around education and career counseling as a use case. The first ad that I ever saw on the road was, "Can you help me figure out what career I'd be good at? Start with 10 questions about what I enjoy." Right, and if you look at the second one, turn my scattered history flashcards into a story I'll remember. Again, around education. Third, I'm procrastinating. Give me guide for mastering this Calc 101 syllabus. Again, all of these are use cases that OpenAI, ChatGPT, everyone is big on how AI will come into education and as a space. And if you look at the entire journey, right from program management to communication to stakeholder management to marketing to content to analytics, content creation, student well-being and monitoring, and outcomes measurement. That's the bucket, and there are around 33 practical use cases across the board, right? The first thing, reclaiming time with AI. How do we automate student discovery, segmentation, outreach? That's where we would start with. And we will start with a couple of tools, right? The first tool that we will look at is Cluely AI. Now, Cluely AI is a live AI assistant for meetings, and not just for meetings, right? Even if you are offline and having a chat with someone, Cluely AI will sit on your system and will essentially help you. Document and record every conversation that you're having with anybody, whether it's a parent, whether it's a student, whether it's your internal team, right? What this will do is, and there is one use case also, I think they've changed the image now, but this is basically, this is one of the use cases where they predominantly go out and say, we will help you essentially understand your and document everything that you're talking about, and we'll bucket it out, right? It's a very simple tool. What it will do is my entire screen is visible, or the tab? You can only see the tab, is it, folks? Can you hear me?
I think we're looking at the entire screen.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, we can see your entire, I mean, the entire page. Your entire screen is visible, sir.
Yeah, okay. Let me see if I can turn it really on. uh, Okay, and I will go to my apps finder and open something called Cluely. Right now, what Cluely does is it will sit on your screen, it will record all the communications, and whatever we are talking about, it will automatically start transcribing in real time, right? In addition to that, while it is transcribing all of this, you can, while talking, It is an assistant that will keep prompting you, helping you, assisting you on questions that you might be stuck at or whatever, right? So I've started Clury. It is recording everything that we speak. And at the end of it, when I sort of pause or stop this, it will have recorded the entire conversation and transcript. It would have recorded the opening. It would have recorded what are the notes, what are the transcripts, what are the sort of outcomes or communication that we would have to do, or sort of, let's say, three key takeaways, or let's say three actionables at the end of it that we have to do. It will record automatically everything and summarize your document, right? So this is like your personal note taker in any format. It is a free tool. It sits on your system, and that's how you can record and communicate and document every meeting across the board that you have, right? Again, I've given you a very small demo, but this is where you can, because a lot of conversations all happen offline, you might not have context, you might not have summary. This will help you sort of document everything at one place while you're speaking, so you don't have to take down notes or anything. If for online meetings you have tools like Read AI, Firefly, all of these, but this is a runtime tool that is uh, that while the transcribing will also help you, let's say in the middle of conversation, help me talk about and talking to you while I type. So I'll keep talking to you, and I'll keep telling you about the tool, help me, and I'll keep searching. And I, while I'm talking, I can in runtime search for, let's say, whatever I want to search. It will give me assistance on the screen, and it will keep running. So this is not visible to anybody on the meeting. Your screen can be shared, and it will still keep working across the board, right? And it will give you notes. It will sit on your system while it transcribes, right? So at the end of the day, let's say I say, okay, now that we've spoken about Cluely, the next step is for you to download Cluely, set it up on your machine, and then send out an email to everyone in your system to have Cluely, right? Just as an example, it would have documented all of this communication that we've had. Once I stop this, it will generate a summary, right? And whatever we've done, yeah. So what was the usage, how did I use it? Again, these were the things that I searched for. It will summarize whatever points. Users tool usage, wants real-time research, how am I using this tool. This will tell us everything across the board, right? So this is basically a good note taker for us to document everything, and this will also become then the feed for any system or tool that we end up using going forward, right? So first thing is documentation, building that knowledge bank, and this tool helps us do that to begin with. Now let's look at another tool, right? Now the next thing is, once we have our documentation sort of sorted, how do we sort of augment ourselves, right? As counselors, we can't be present at every place, but we want the same knowledge to be present everywhere across the board, right? And this is where something called Davos, so the platform is called Davos.io, right? You can augment personas here. If you go to persona library, you can essentially set up conversation. You can set up a persona. You can tell it what do you want it to speak about. Again, right now we haven't given it any context. We haven't given it any what is the role for the person to do. There is no memory, no knowledge base, nothing that has been connected, right? But imagine that we actually end up doing that. So if I click on edit over here, I'll click on this, right? So system prompt is, it's an independent educational counselor. The primary function is to guide student age 16 to 18 through college program selection, application preparation across the board, right? What is the approach? Is problem solving approach. What is their area of expertise? And you can keep giving as much depth as you want, right? I've given a very small brief here. Now let's look at this persona in real life communication, right? I will start a chat with this, and by the way, you can create your own face instead of the face that you see on screen, right? So this is you sitting at different tables, different conversations without being there. So for your onboarding journeys, for your first discovery journeys where you're not present, this is a great tool for you to use across, and you can keep the model. Hey, hi. Yes. Hi, how are you?
We can't hear anything
You can't hear anything from the audio that's
from
coming.
the persona. No.
Yeah, from the
Okay,
persona.
wait. Can you hear it now?
I can't. I don't know if anyone else can.
No, we can't.
I'll put myself on mute and then it will play. Just check if it is audible. Oh, it's still not audible. Then let's do one thing. I will stop screen share and share a Chrome tab. I think that should work. Is it
That
audible
sounds like a good.
now or is it still not audible?
I can see. I can see you're sharing something on your screen, but I still can't hear any audio. Is there something specific on the screen you'd like to talk about?
Okay, let's get started from fresh. And yeah, walk me through the journey. How do I go about college selection? And yeah, please ask me probing questions.
I'm excited to help you with that. Let's start with the basics. What are your interests or subjects that you're passionate about? That'll help us narrow down some college options for you.
Okay, so I'm interested in math, computers, physics, filmmaking, quizzing, food. I'm interested in I'm interested in economics, philosophy. Yeah, so those are some of my interests. Academically, I'm okay at math and physics. I'm good at computer science, but yeah, that's the background.
Wow, you have a diverse range of interests. It sounds like you're a curious person who enjoys exploring different subjects. Let's try to narrow it down a bit. Are you thinking of studying one specific field in college, or are you open to exploring multiple areas? And what are your goals after college? Are you thinking of a specific career or something more general?
I would want to be at an intersection of filmmaking and engineering and computer science because I love filmmaking and computer science is something that comes naturally to me. At least I enjoy some bit of programming, but computer application is what I largely enjoy.
That sounds like a fascinating combination. So you're looking for a field that merges your creative passion for filmmaking with your technical strengths in computer science and engineering. Have you considered exploring areas like computer animation, game development, or virtual reality? These fields often combine technical skills with creative storytelling, which could be a great fit for your interests. What specific aspects of filmmaking are you most drawn to? Is it directing, editing, special effects, or something else?
But again, editing special effects, I'm good at After Effects, Adobe After Effects. I'm good at Premiere Pro. I enjoy all of these softwares, but not something that I want to do. Right, I want to be at the back end. I want to build products that actually are After Effects or Premiere Pro that other animators, code filmmakers can use.
So you're looking to be on the development side, creating tools and software that can be used by filmmakers and animators. That's a great goal. It sounds like you're interested in software development, specifically building products that can be used in the film and animation industry. Have you considered exploring areas like software engineering, computer science, or human-computer interaction? What kind of products are you envisioning building? Are you thinking of creating something like a plugin for existing software or a completely new platform?
Right, just to give you context, right, this will uh, actually start off discovering the student interest. This will give you a very detailed transcript of the discovery call itself, right? And this is an untrained model right now. This is absolutely raw. This is generating questions and answers on the fly. Now if you train it, if you give it a thought process and a chain of thought, and we'll look at how do we do that. It will ask those specific questions in the steps in a very specific order. It will collect information. It will give responses. Right now, it will also, as an untrained model, it can give me what colleges are good for me, what programs are good for me. It will tell me all of that. But this is very untrained data, right? Your intelligence is what is needed to make it much more intelligent, and that is actually possible today. Now let's look at how does this tool enable that, right? So let's begin with this, right? So if I click on this, I click on edit, and I click on Charlie, and I click on create replica. It can essentially create my replica on the system. So you can essentially consent, record, upload a short video, train video, and create replica. So you can create your own replica on the system. Once you've done that, the next thing that you can do is essentially, what is the system prompt, what is the context. You can actually uh, essentially give a word by word training. If you have a written document around, okay, this is how you train people on let's say, let's quickly generate something on ChatGPT, right? I'll go to ChatGPT, generate a knowledge bank to counsel students. Ignore the typos, I'm typing quickly. To counsel students on the on students on career selection and college selection. Don't give me a framework. Generate content that can be trained on a model. So ChatGPT will generate a bunch of training content. I can put all of this training content, and I will actually, I can put exploring careers, what is the purpose, and this will ask the right questions. And I can train on all of this, and then it will start asking questions around this line, right? So let us look at how do we go ahead and do this. Self discovery, step one, exploring career and college landscape is step two, matching self to options and shortlisting is step three, college selection application strategies, step four. And you can train on everything across the board, right? You can play around with it. I'm giving you an overview. Of course, the depth can be built, and we'll get to depths in the recurring series. Today is to essentially discover what all is possible, and then as a collective, whatever use cases work for us, we'll go deeper into it, right? Is this a use case that resonates with everyone? Would you want to sort of use this in your practice? Do you see this actually helping you as a use case, or do you see this as something that's not relevant to the practice? Again, I want this to be more interactive, because one way training, it feels like I'm talking to a blackboard.
Are
Nicole, you were trying to say something.
we
Nicole, lost your audio. Is it only for me, or
No, we can't hear Nicole.
okay?
Naman, while
Yeah.
we wait for Nicole to speak, sorry, I missed after introducing myself, I missed 3 or 4 minutes. So I, I just came in when you spoke about creating a persona and somebody trying to talk. You're asking questions and that persona is giving you answers. I saw that. Can you tell me how you give me idea how this will help an independent educational counselor? Because I'm not sure I completely understand how I can use this. So I'm asking you for a suggestion on how we could possibly use this.
So before you joined, we gave one use case of recording and documenting every conversation that you have. That was with Cluely.
Yeah,
Now,
that is like Otter, right? That's I asked a question. I was there then. Then I
yeah,
got thrown out briefly. Yeah.
so that's like Otter, but Otter only joins online meetings, and Otter will not break it down into actionables and not automate your calendars and everything across the board. Cluely helps you do that.
Okay.
So that's the difference. Also, Cluely, interestingly, is built by the son of someone who runs an educational consulting company based out of US. Cluely, so the guy got into, the parents could not get the kid into Harvard. The guy dropped 1 year, built Cluely, joined Columbia. Cluely took off and then dropped out of Columbia as well. In last 10 months, Cluely has done 15 million ARR in like 10 months, but the parents run a college admissions consulting company itself for the founder actually, right? So, but yeah.
So you will tell us if we want to say a further demo, or if I want to bring in more people, or if I want to invest in this, you will tell us the next steps for all that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, we're just discovering what
Okay,
all is
okay,
possible
fine.
because it's
So,
a
okay,
very
that
large
can.
universe in terms of tools that are out there, right? I'm just introducing you to what all is possible right now, and then we can build depth in terms of, okay, this is how we use this. This is how the. So I'm also still trying to figure out which are the relevant use cases that you feel as an audience is something that would relate to you, right? Coming to Tavos and this knowledge base.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, Nicole. Yeah,
Just shifting locations to see what works. I just
yeah.
wanted to check, uh, like when we train it, is there possible to put guardrails in the sense that you may want to use it for discovery, but you may not want it to make suggestions and things like that because that may cause confusion. You may suggest as a human something else. It may be suggesting something else. So can you use it just for discovery and then utilize and then you take over from the next meeting? Because we
Absolutely.
won't be
Here,
present when if we are using these personas in multiple places, you won't be present to kind of see what is happening. So is there a way to put in some guardrails for that?
absolutely right. So if you look at it, personas now available with knowledge base, memory, objectives, and guardrails. So you can add all four things across the board. So guardrails is an important part of this, right? So they promise guardrails, and you can add guardrails to it, and you can actually train. Okay, these are the questions that you should answer. These are the questions that I would want you to say. Please book a meeting, and your counselor will have a chat with you. So both of those use cases are absolutely possible.
Thank you.
All of this goes under your knowledge base and persona training, right? So if you go to a persona and click on a persona, and I'm just trying to edit the persona over here, right? There is something called guardrails, right? Steer the conversation by defining clear boundaries for conversational topics and observed behavior. You can create guardrails. You can create objective of the conversation. You can create a knowledge base, and this will help as a great onboarding tool for everyone, right? So to answer your question, Sundri ma'am, essentially, this is a great onboarding tool, discovery tool. You can't be present talking to everybody every time, or let's say customers that have not converted, students that want to have a chat, but you want a pre-context window to be set up because you don't want 30 minutes on a discovery call, you want 30 minutes on an action call, right? So this can then be in place of you talking to the student, understanding their requirement. You can go prepared in a meeting based on the requirement that they have, right? So you can train all of this across the board.
So if I understand right, this is more about gauging what the student is about. It's not if the student asks questions, this cannot become you and answer the questions, right? Or is that what Nicole was saying, that we don't want that to answer something that we might answer differently? Is this what we mean by guardrails?
Yes, absolutely. Right. So if you would answer something differently, you tell the persona that these are not the questions that you have to answer, because it will still go ahead and answer questions. Only thing is, if you say don't answer these questions, it will not answer this. Right. So those are called guardrails. So essentially, let's say selection of a college, the persona should not answer. You have much more understanding and much more data than the system will ever have. Right. So that is what you would want your persona to understand the student, not to respond to the student.
For example, we have a lot of these introductory calls where we make a pitch about what we do and how we operate, etc. So it
Yeah,
this can be used for that, right? It is about
absolutely.
more one-sided about what we do. So instead
Absolutely.
of the head taking these sessions, the persona will be the persona of my, say, the head of my company, right? Is that how it is?
Yeah, yeah. So all the use cases that we are looking at is till now, like till whatever we've looked at, and even for the next good part of the conversation, we are looking at either the student is signing up, it's the first introduction. How do we set up our toolkit right now? How do we set up recording? How do we set up onboarding? How do we set up understanding of our student? Those are the things that we are essentially trying to set up right now.
Understood.
Right?
Thank you.
These are tools that will help us get the customers, understand them better. These are operational cases. We'll now get to content cases. Then we'll get into day-to-day operations as well. That's the second part of the chat. But right now, the first, like let's say another 20-25 is more
Just one
specific.
more question. Just we saw this young man who was talking, right? If we
Yeah.
want to show one of us talking, but obviously not being actually there, but programmed to say what we want to say, is that possible, or it's only through the persona of somebody else, like
No,
this young man,
you can create your own persona. You can go over
and our
here.
own face, etc. Right?
Yeah. So how to
Okay.
record? I will click on I understand. You can consent video, train the video, create your replica, right? If I go to home and my personas, create a persona, where can I create mine? I'm just figuring out. I think there are permissions that I have not maybe given to it, but yeah, or maybe my free account is over on this. But if you click on get started, right, it will essentially help you record your video, train your persona, and take it forward from there. It's not the most accurate, so it will dummy you, but you can still understand that this is still AI, right? So that lag is still there. Video AI technology is not still there. It's still pretty good in terms of how conversational and real it feels, but augmentation is still slightly, like the base foundational models are still figuring it out.
No, I may choose to be present at the call with my persona talking, right?
Yeah.
And we can always steer it because one is going to be present on the call, but we
Yeah.
don't expend our own
uh,
energy.
yeah. So both all these use cases are possible, right? Okay, awesome. Now, yeah. Any questions so far on how do we create personas, how do we create conversational bots, and how do we sort of figure out onboarding journeys from here?
Well, this
So
is
these
actually
are
quite cool.
yeah. So again, we are looking at reclaiming time with AI, right? How do we talk to students without being there, right? We can train something, it will talk, it will give us documentation. It ends up doing is, if I go over here, it will go to my conversational library. Let's say I've gone over here, it will present me a transcript, right? And it will also give me a perception, uh, behavior and engagement, emotions. So it'll detect everything across the board, and it will give you a transcript. Right now, what you can do is, let's say, take this transcript, and let's say I will take this transcript. I will go to ChatGPT. I can click on new chat. I can paste. Help me summarize the transcript, because I haven't turned Cluely on. Now, had Cluely been on in this meeting, it would have already done this transcription for me. Right now, summary of the counseling conversation. The session began with some technical difficulties. Once the conversation resumed, the student shared the academic and personal interests. It broke down my academic interest into maths, computer science, physics, economics, philosophy, personal interest into filmmaking, food, and quizzing. Student decided then the counselor identified this as a strong field fit for fields such as software engineering, computer graphics, human computer interaction, product design, and development. So it gave me a summary very quickly. Right now, having to sit through a 30-minute conversation with, let's say, 30, 40, 50, 100 odd students across the board, depending on, are we school counselors, independent counselors across the board, is so many minutes gone. Right now, this is parallel tasks happening all at once, and you getting summary in less than 30 seconds. Right, so that's the power that you can do. So that's how you can reclaim time today, right? uh, and this will help you sort of build a lot of automation and data capture across the board, right? So that's step one. Right now, the second thing, right, let's say, keeping every stakeholder in loop. Now, there are two kinds of stakeholders. One is our audience, and second is people who onboarded with us, right? So our students and parents, right? How do we build content for our audience is the second use case that we'll see. And then third use case is, once we have started interacting with our parents and students, how do we build out visually good looking reports, communication decks, action decks across the board and send it across faster, right? So that's the next thing that we're going to see across the board. uh, okay, so let's start with this, right? I'm sure all of you have heard of Notebook LM as a tool, or how many of you are new to Notebook LM as a tool? How many of you are familiar with Notebook LM?
I'm new to it.
I'm
Okay.
quite familiar.
I'm
Okay.
do it too.
Okay. So Notebook LM is a tool which will help you sort of one of the very, so this is mostly building your content engine and talking to your audience. I think that's a good use case over here. Let's look at something new, right? So I can choose to upload a file, and okay, I will open something that I've already created, right? Okay, what was my base file? Yeah, right. So I had created a document where can I see the document? Uh, yeah, this was my document where I essentially wanted to create content around hospitality and hospitality as a career option, right? Now, what I ended up doing was I went to, let's say, ChatGPT. I said, okay, create uh, create a create a document around hospitality as a career. uh, don't keep regular uh, jobs as use cases, but talk about intersection, intersection and interdisciplinary application. So, engineering in hospitality, marketing in, ignore all the typos, please. I'm just typing fast, but yeah, hospitality, marketing and hospitality, design in hospitality, talk about real world use cases, and give me a detailed document for the same. Right now, let's look at what this creates. Right? Hospitality as a career. It's a future of human experience, engineering in hospitality, marketing in hospitality, design in hospitality, technology in hospitality, psychology in hospitality. It has given me multiple things. Right now, I just copy paste this. I go to Notebook LM. I create a new notebook, and okay, I will have to upload the document. So I'll just paste this in Google Doc. I will download this doc, download PDF, and then I will go to Notebook LM, and I will upload a file from my downloads folder, which will be this. It will read my document. Right. Now let's look at it creating an audio overview. Generate. And let's also create a video overview. And let's say I want to classic. Okay. Now this will convert my document into a podcast. Be it will create a short video that you can then use for your YouTube content, for your socials, for, let's say you have a community of parents and you want to send out a small text around hospitality as a career. You want to send out a small text around, let's say, MIT as a college. You want to send out a small text around technology, engineering, AI, whatever, right? You can just create your content, put it on Notebook LM. It will generate podcast, it will generate video. People don't read text as a content, or at least the consumption of text as a medium is limited. Audio consumption, video consumption, much faster, right? Notebook LM will help you do both of these things. And I'll show you an example of exactly what we did and how it created that. Experiment labs. And while it is creating, let's also look at the examples of what it ended up doing. So it will create, and all of this created by Notebook LM, right? Took me less than 5 minutes, and it will take this almost similar amount of time where it will generate the audio, it will generate the video, and give it prompts, and you can edit it across the board. But this is great marketing tool from idea to content to produced output in less than 5 minutes, right? Again, we can deep dive in terms of how do we improve our prompts, how do we sort of come out with better uh, outcomes across the board, and we will actually end up discussing all of that. Right now I'm just talking about use cases. uh, is the use case with Notebook LM clear, or do you want me to deep dive on the use case and possibilities of Notebook LM as a tool?
It's clear. I just wanted to check that once it generates something, if there is some aspect that you want to edit, are you able to edit something that is already created?
You can change the base file, and in the
So you'll
base
have to
file you
change
can
your
do it.
prompt
Yeah,
to.
you will have to change your prompt.
Okay. Thank you.
I had one question here, Naman. So when the video gets created, it will be the video of our own persona, is it?
Sorry.
No, you said this can get converted into audio and also video,
Yeah,
the text. So when
yeah.
the videos of who will be explaining this in the video? Would it be our own persona, or how does that video actually work?
So this would be still Notebook LM's voice, right? You can, when you create anything, right? What you can do is under this source, right? So let's say you've gone here and you create a new notebook, right? Over here, what you can upload a base file. Okay, let's say this is my base file. After that, over here, you can define, okay, my like I this is how I would want to sound, this is how I would want to speak about it. You can over here define that, okay, my persona is communicative, one-on-one, informational, Indian, Indian female,
No, I
when.
understood this, Naman. Audio, I can understand how we can set
So
it to
video, it's
sound like
not,
us.
yeah. So video, it's anyway like voiceovers, right? It is not doing um, your video content. Over there in Tabus, it was creating your augmentation. Over here, this is not.
Okay.
This is static text content created into slides, created into information, right? Essentially, this information then you can use across to create your own, let's say, marketing content, or YouTube channel, informative content, engagement content with parents across the board.
So when you say video, it's like us seeing something as a PPT with somebody with the AI talking, right? Giving the voice. Is that what you mean? When
With AI, yeah, it's a voiceover. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a voiceover. Okay, understood.
yeah,
Okay, thank you.
yeah. So it's a voiceover. Let's say the document that I just interact created, right? Now, right? So now this is allowing. Sorry. I'll reshare my screen. Yeah.
On?
Okay. So you've spoken to me about hospitality in multiple things. Can if, uh, assume I'm interested in arts. How does that intersect with hospitality?
That is a fantastic question.
Oh, we love that question.
And absolutely, arts and aesthetics are central to modern hospitality.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's about what we call design in hospitality.
Exactly. Our source material calls it environmental storytelling.
Design goes way beyond just making a room look nice.
It's about crafting spaces that feel like stories, that evoke a specific mood.
If you're into the arts, think about spatial design.
Interior architects use design, like biophilic design, to influence behavior and mood.
They want to evoke serenity or mindfulness, like the minimalist architecture at Oman resorts.
Arts
Now, assume that you share this out and you create a library across the board with each and every career where people, it's on your website. You can take the snippets, you can create links, embed it on your website, and any career, it's a conversational piece between the bot and you, asking any question that anybody wants to ask around any career, any college across the board, right? That kind of content is very very powerful, and that's the true use of AI, in terms of you having conversational content with everyone in your audience, rather than it being static content, a piece built one time and then that's the end all be all of it, right? This becomes very very powerful in that context, where you have conversational bots talking to your learners, to your audience, everywhere across the board.
So this is all under Notebook LM, right?
This is all Notebook LM. Yeah.
The
So I
yeah, the
will,
previous one on Persona, that was which one? What software? That was
this was called Taubes, TABUS.
sorry, TABUS.
Taubes, yeah.
Havas Persona.
Yeah. And this is called Notebook LM, right? Now, assume that you've had a session with this was more marketing and audience. Now let's look at reporting and essentially communicating and visualizing the conversation, right? So I will go ahead and write a prompt. Assume I have had a chat with assume I've had a chat with a student and a parent. We've discussed their college options and also their profile building activities. Uh, Give me a prompt for Figma Make to visualize the entire chat and visualize the entire chat summary as a report or report to be shared. Uh, don't give detailed 3 to 5 pages report content and takeaway actionables, impact, etc. So what I would do is I would take my transcript, I would paste it into ChatGPT. I would then ask for, let's say, okay, I want to build a report. Give me the content of the report based on the transcript. I would take out the entire prompt, and then I would go to this tool called figma.com. On Figma, I will go to something called Figma Make. So if you go to Figma, there are multiple things that show up on Figma, right? So there would be multiple tabs. It's essential that we choose the right one. So there would be, let's say, design, FigJam, slides, buzz, site, make. We will go to make. Make is the relevant one here. I will paste the entire thing. I will do this, and then I would, okay, I have done this, uh, and I would also add a download PDF button, and on click help me download it, keep it text like more visual, readable, Okay, let's generate. I've given it a prompt. If it has taken my transcript, converted that into a report, and now it is visualizing the entire report for me. It will take some time, but
Naman, while it's doing that, I just wanted to check. Say, for instance, we are getting a transcript from Cluey. We
yeah,
cannot generate a report from Cluey because then you're picking from one, putting into another.
the orchestration is a problem, and orchestration is a massive problem because all of these are independent platforms. All of them have solved for one small use case,
Yeah, so
and
my
then
question was because you're used to building these kind of things, is there no career counseling thing that has already, picked up on what a career counselor would need and kind of merge it into one platform?
that's where experiment labs comes in.
That's what that I said. This is very your area of expertise. So,
Yeah.
are you building something that is going to
I'll showcase this also to you. Some of these cases are covered, some of these are not. But again, I'm saying that all of this exists outside, irrespective of experiment labs. They just build together a beautiful orchestration of all of this in one place. So, irrespective whether you want to choose us or not, I'm saying all of this is possible today. Orchestration is something that we'll definitely help you with, and I'll show you the platform as well in some time. Yeah. But I'm just saying what is today the power is like exponential in terms of so many tools being available across the board that you can automate your journey and save on a lot of time, and essentially be present at multiple places, get data from uh, conversation to text, text to processing, processing to visualization, and do better delivery, better servicing, answer important questions. Right today, the biggest thing with AI is going to replace any repetitive work that is out there that does not require decision making or logic. So your job should only be high level decision making, logic building, and putting fragmented data context all in one place. Everything else should be powered and processed by tools that are already available across the board. Yeah, let's look at this, right? Look at this. It has student counseling report, first counseling session, date, duration, participants, session contracts, interest, goals, action pathways were discussed. You can understanding the student, what were the academic strengths, what were the interested profiles, personality insights, mapping the collegiate path, sectional rationale. Again, this has done everything across the board. You can just click on download PDF. Again, there was some error, it will fix it. Typically, PDF generation takes one or two edits. And then it will give you a very beautiful report that you can share across after summarizing with parents. Right today, your summary also has to be manually written. It is not visualized. Everything is a time consuming process across the board. And I have given very little design prompts. So if you want to give more design prompts, you want to add your logo, you want to add your color scheme, you want to give it, let's say you want the page to be in a certain format, all of that is predominantly possible, and you can just give a prompt and it will help you do all of this across the board. Is the screen still visible?
Yeah, it is now. It's loading. Can't see anything on the right.
Yeah, it's loading for me as well. Yeah. it takes 2 3 attempts because it is converting all of this visual data into code and then state management, a bunch of engineering at the back end, but then it will help you sort of render out a complete PDF and send it you can send build it and use it to send across to your parents and students, right? So from onboarding to documentation to communication to making it conversational to reporting and visualization, we've seen an entire flow across the board. And Figma Make is just not just to build your reports. You can reuse it for your webinar, like the poster that you saw, right, was created on Figma Make. There was no Canva, nothing. It was pure prompt and built on Figma Make, right? So you can give prompts and it will essentially generate all your visualization, all your graphics. If you put images, it will take images across the board and it will help you build out any sort of visual content as well in a much better format, right? So that's the idea with Figma Make, to visualize your entire journey and put it across for parents, learners across the board. Now, out of these 5 use cases, right? Again, there are multiple. Again, we are 33 use cases. We've discussed as 5. Which one of these would you want me to deep dive and sort of walk you through one complete journey? Because at least I want you to have one in-depth takeaway with as many use cases as possible that you can actually start using instead of you having to play hands-on with every of these and then figure it out. If you were to pick amongst one of these 5, which one would you want to be in a very hands-on format?
Sorry, where are the 5?
So first one was Cluely and transcript. Second was
Oh,
Tabu's persona journey augmentation. Third was Notebook LM and creating content. Fourth was conversational pieces via Notebook LM, and fifth was reporting, anything visualization. So right from your reports to your marketing content to your webinar invites, everything across the board.
I think
Which one would you?
to me, the persona one was absolutely new. So
Yeah.
that would be interesting.
and maybe at some point you can also do 3 and 5. I'm okay with the order. I'll go with what
Yeah,
others
I
want,
mean, I
but I
think
was interested with,
visualization
yeah.
was the most interesting for me, the last bit.
Yeah, so now download PDF has worked. So it takes about two, 3 attempts because it's still code and there are multiple sort of factors that impact it. But yeah, so it'll then save as PDF and then the PDF is generated and it will essentially generate the entire thing across the board. But yeah,
I think we can
so
go with Figma simply because the persona one, I think all of us will have to get a little more comfortable before using it. But this may be something everyone can use immediately.
Yeah,
okay,
I second that.
Exactly. Yeah.
cool. So okay,
Now, Naman, sorry, I'll just ask a very operational question, which you can cover
yeah.
later. Need your contact details, and if you want to take this forward, you will be. Can we talk to you offline? How does that work?
Yeah. So I am available at yeah.
Thank you.
And yeah, okay. Help me create a webinar invite for what is the topic that you would want to create a webinar invite for? Folks, what?
You can just use a counseling session, maybe,
Or a
simple,
UCAS, the Common App presentation, maybe.
perfect.
Do you all
That'd be
relate to
amazing.
that? Yeah, Common App presentation.
Uh,
Basically telling the kids how to fill the Common App application. We asked
yeah,
thousands of questions around it.
how to fill common app, uh, common app application. Also, by the way, you can train your Taos persona with your entire documented knowledge base on common app and then throw out the persona to students. They will ask questions and it will answer on behalf of you. You don't even have to be present in the room. Again, another use case for Taos, right? So any FAQs, repetitive questions, where you don't need manual assistance. And if you're stuck, of course, they can come back and say, "Okay, I tried and it doesn't work." But more often than not, if your knowledge base is solid, it will help you train on everything across the board. Help me create a webinar common application. This will be on Zoom. Add a QR code, joining link. The event is tomorrow at 5 p.m. The colors are blue, let's say orange and orange, orange, blue, high. Make it horizontal. Uh, let's say I want to add. I will go ahead and add, let's say, image and presentation. So images. Let's say I want to add a speaker. Okay, I'm adding a speaker here, and let's say I'm adding a logo here. Uh, Take the logo and speaker image. Uh, okay, logo. I'm just taking a random logo for now. Yeah.
And Aman, sorry, I think I understood your question incorrectly. I'm not asking how to create an invite, basically how to do the entire presentation, or is that beyond this?
Okay. On this, you want to build an entire presentation. Okay. Let's do
Yeah.
this.
So that telling them how to fill the app, because that is where we get bombarded with a number of questions. Though it's
Uh,
very repetitive, we end up saying the
I
same
think he
thing.
was suggesting to use the persona for that, where you could build in each question and the response. Naman, were you suggesting that? Because that was
I was suggesting that because then that becomes communicative. But the problem there is that even if you have a knowledge bank, it is still non-visual as a medium. So it will have to be a combination of presentation plus audio conversation, right? So if you have to build a presentation, I would use either something called presentations AI, or I would use something called the Snap Deck. Snap Deck. Either I go ahead and yeah. Okay. I will. So it created this webinar, but mastering the common application again. If whatever you want to increase in size and everything, uh,
Could you just
must,
like take a minute on this and say, like, for example, Figma has made it. How do you deploy this? Say webinar.
uh, so if it is made is you just click on download invite. It will help you save as a PDF, or let's say
Hmm.
you want a JPEG or a JPEG, let's say PNG. All you give it as a prompt is give me a PNG download button for the same. And once I do this, it will create a PNG button like a download invite. You can click on download PNG
Right.
and
Now,
select.
for example, the QR code, the meeting link. Now, so we can just add our own. We can just
Yeah,
give it that
I
Zoom link
added
and
the
it'll
image
integrate.
and the logo, right? So you can add your image, logo, QR code, meeting link, and it will use it of its own, right? So you don't really,
Perfect. Superb. Thank you.
yeah. So essentially, the information, the more information you throw, the more it will. Yeah. So this is converted download invite into download PNG, and now the PNG image is ready and it has downloaded the PNG, right? So yeah. Having said that, let's get to a presentation. Give me a walkthrough. Okay, I would rather go to, for this, I would use Snapdeck or Presentation AI so do you have a document, anybody who has a document on Common App by any chance? No. Okay. So then let's go to ChatGPT. I would go to ChatGPT, create new chat, and okay, give me a detailed knowledge base content for knowledge based content for common app and application process. Okay, detail history. Okay, wait. And to this step-by-step process of applying and submitting a college application, because that is what is the most the FAQ and confusion part. Okay, this is my content. I would do and take this and I would essentially copy till here. Okay, copy till step 10. I would go to snap tech. I would do this and instead of 5, give me a 10 slide presentation and generate. Common app, submission, step process, create an account, this, okay, type anything. Yeah, yeah, okay, choose a theme, and choose a theme. I would choose a light theme and generate.
Can we also say, give me screenshots of whatever it's advising?
That
Screenshots from
will
Common App?
have image data, right? So that's personal data. You'll have to manually upload that. So if you want to do this, again, you can do the same thing on Figma actually. I would go here, I would copy, I already have this. Uh, Give me a 10 slide presentation. I would upload images. So let's say I'm putting dummy image for now, but let's say once you have an image, let's say I'm putting the invite image itself. The uploaded image is for step 1. Use that in the relevant slide and leave space for uh, relevant images in the next in the next slides. I will update images in the next ROM. Uh, build out, build out the entire presentation. Okay, I can use Figma Make to do exactly this, but yeah. So Snapdeck will do it without this. Over here, if you want an image, you can just drag and drop an image and uh, upload an ad, and it will add the image essentially over here. And then you can position your, let's say you want the image here, you can just position your image in the relevant box, and this will be done, right? So like something like this, and yeah, this will, but the presentation is built fairly quickly. Same with let's say Figma Make. If you upload the images, it will go ahead and do it on its own.
Oh, that's really interesting. It looks easy to see you do this, but I think the key is for us to try to figure this out on our own. I see that as the challenge, frankly.
uh it's
I
not
was
going to be
asking
that
Naman for a shortcut. Have they not developed something that can use multiple of these? And then that would be so much easier.
So for your daily operations, you've developed a lot of things, and I'll show that to you. For these marketing use cases, we're still to develop, and still then I'll show after this. Let this happen, and then I'll show this also to you.
And Naman, also maybe in this call or next call, we also want to know if meeting invites can be automated. Like we met with a student, say today, we want to meet with a student after 30 days and we want an invite to go to that student after 30 days. Can that be automated where automatically it figures out 30 days from today and sends out the invite as well? I mean, stuff like that, can it happen?
Uh, on experiment labs, it can. Like on our system, it can.
Okay. And similarly, is there a way to create student dashboards? Like,
All of this is where we come in, and I'll show you our platform as well. Yeah. So look at this right now. Common App. This was slide one. You can add your images, and yeah, your entire presentation is ready. It took what, less than 10 minutes to create something like this. I can just click on download. It will download and save as PDF, and we're good to go.
Sorry, is this on Figma or was this another one?
This is Figma Make. So I put the same prompt on Figma Make, and then Figma Make, with the image that I uploaded, it just generated the entire thing.
Okay.
is
Yeah.
it possible for you to uh, attach this sample deck that you created here? Because I want to show it to my sister to say he created this in 10 minutes, right? So she's not here. She's a very important decision maker. So I just want her to see this feels like magic, right? So this multiplied by the n number of other scenarios we would have. If something as complex as this is going to take 10 minutes, then other things can also be equally automated like this or converted into presentations, usable formats, right? Right now, a lot of manual effort is being spent.
Yeah. No, absolutely. How do I share this is what I'm thinking. Okay, what I can do is I can go to Drive and I'll upload it on my Drive and then share the Drive link with you. That's the easier way to do it than anything else. But yeah, let me see if it has generated it in the right format. So, yeah. So some prompting here and there, like whatever you find as a bug, you can just call it out, and it is okay. This is page one, right? So okay, it's just sharing page one of now. If I were to do this, give me a download button to download all pages, a single PDF.
Does it not allow you to just share a link kind of and then someone else downloads because it may be a very heavy file also?
No, it will be less than 5 6 MB or whatever. But you can publish this. Like you can just click on publish, and you can click on publish, and this would be available. Like this link itself would be available. So I will. Okay, I'll just publish it on my account itself, and I will share it here. Uh, that's a link. Yeah, you can see it in chat. Just check if the link is working. I think it
Yeah, we are
should
checking.
work.
Yeah. Are others able to open this?
It's taking a little time.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Uh, but I
Okay,
think it has
it's downloaded.
published.
It downloaded.
Yeah. So there are ways to sort of publish this publicly, share this publicly. All of that is pretty possible. Um, I will share the downloaded PDF also. Wait, pages, options, save as PDF, pages, preview, then dialogues. Okay, yeah.
I don't know why I'm not able to see it in my downloads.
Probably we can connect offline for that. I think
Sure,
the
we'll do that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No problem.
yeah. So yeah, so that is there, and okay. So from a presentation standpoint, again, this becomes very accessible. Now I'll quickly also walk you through what we end up doing at experiment labs and essentially how we do it. So video augmentation is still early days for us, and we are also sort of getting to video augmentation, but text-based augmentation is something as an entire orchestration journey we've already curated and we built across the board. Let me share my screen and share it with you.
So now, Naman, are you a one-stop shop who will be catering to all our requirements, as in you will understand what we need and then customize whatever we need for us? So some of it can be already what you already have, right? So some of it you may need to customize. Is this something that you do? Experiment labs?
So we can figure out if it aligns with our larger product strategy. We're happy to customize. If it doesn't, then we'll help you figure out how can you do it even without our product.
Okay,
Our,
thanks.
our predominant goal is to essentially assist you to get to a point to manage entire student journeys. But our predominant goal still remains profile building because that is the biggest piece for us where we want automation, right? Applied learning, because students are much faster learners. If we assist you and we help you get them in the right direction, profile building is where essentially we would use all of this to help students build stellar profiles uh, across leadership as a use case, across research as a use case, across passion projects as a use case, across internships as a use case, because our expertise comes from industry as a predominant area. And just to add to this, uh, the one of the advisors on board for us is the current head of education for Asia Pacific at OpenAI and ChatGPT. He was a former managing director at Coursera as well. So amongst other folks that we have, right? So those are the folks that predominantly are helping us advise on education and applied learning as a use case across the board.
Okay.
So our goal is so what we offer is an onboarding. Right now, it's a form-based onboarding where students end up filling their information around their personal interests, academic interests, uh, 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 career goals, everything across the board. Because Taboos is definitely one of the use cases, and we are building towards that. But even with a form-based onboarding, what we predominantly end up understanding is what is the students' Mm. Students' personal interests, academic interests, career goals, target countries, extracurriculars that they've done in the past, their academic scoring, and their aptitude across different subjects. What are their college preferences? And the student might know it, or you as a counselor can input it on behalf of the student. Once we understand all of that, we personalize in terms of how do we add and move levers for the students, right? So let's say the student is interested in music and is interested in biology and genetics, right? What we end up doing then is we end up recommending what are the activities that the student needs to do. So we just don't say do a research paper, but we then go on and based on a large training data and model that we train, we go ahead and say, okay, write down a paper on exploring epigenetic influences on musical talent, or let's say do an internship at Bioethics Society of India, New York Genome Center, Magenta by Google, or let's say build passion projects that are essentially musical interface for genetic data. Those are the kinds of things that we recommend. Once you as a counselor, let's say, likes one, two, three, n number of these ideas, then we help you deliver these ideas also across the board, right? So we have a large pool of mentors from the industry, from research, from academia across the board. All of these are senior leaders across the board. As I said, former MD India, APAC, Coursera. Currently, he's the head of education at OpenAI. What we'll do is we'll handle students to sort of deliver this across the board. What you can do is build out a very personalized report for the student, recommending what are the ideas that work for them, what are the what are the personalized profile building activities that they should take in, why are these activities predominantly a fit for them, what is the outcome that they can expect, how would these activities end up being delivered to the student. On top of that, not only this, but let's say you want to manage the entire student journey and build out reports for them, document their communication, document their WhatsApp, document their events and meetings, and let's say transcripts across the board. All of that is also predominantly possible, where you build out extensive reports in terms of what was the communication, what is their academic profile, what is the non-academic profile, what is their standardized test performance, what is the university strategy, what is the implementation timeline going to be. You can essentially build customized roadmaps for the students across college, test scores, extracurriculars, application, post application. You can add, let's say, to your question, Sumti, around, okay, today is the meeting, I want the next meeting to be in 30 days. You can sort of start setting up events within the system, that, okay, this is the day, this is when I want the event, this is when I want the other event, and you can automate all of that. WhatsApp reminders will go out automatically, both to parents, students. There is a student dashboard, there is a parent dashboard. All of that is essentially available across the board to help you manage and streamline your journey, and while we become your extended team in terms of technology and profile building. So that's what we enable, that's what we do.
Is it possible to get like a, like a, how you can do a dummy student and try out the platform?
Yeah. So absolutely right. So I will share the I will share a sign up link here with everyone. Give me 1 second. Oh, is my yeah. I've shared the link here. We'll also send out the invite post this. But yeah. So that's what we've orchestrated a lot of these journeys, barring the marketing use cases, because those are predominantly more brand specific rather than an underlying layer, which is where you might have to do it. But augmentation, building a persona like Taboos is our next release, should go out live in 45 to 60 days. Apart from that, report generation, visualization, tracking their journeys, personalized profile building, journeys, building the roadmaps, all of that is essentially supported on the platform today.
Can I ask you, Naman, that let's say for instance, like a Mindler platform, how
Yeah.
is yours different, or what add-ons or what do you have that is not present? I mean, just for me to understand the difference.
Absolutely. So, see, Mindler starts with psychometrics as a use case. We are not a psychometric platform. We are essentially, think of it like an AI assistant on a great digital filing cabinet for your students, right? Where you manage their entire journey across the board. Where we come in is in two formats. One is the kind of industry partnerships that we bring in, and second, the kind of hands-on delivery across all profile building levers. That's our forte, right? Mindler will help you do psychometrics, will help you again, I have limited context also of Mindler, to be very honest, but from what I know of, there are two products, Mindler's psychometric and Mindler Immerse is virtual internships. Ours are also more we don't do use case or case study based internships at all. Ours are real work on ground with companies, right? So we throw out real problems to students, we throw out real projects that can be absorbed, we throw out research that can actually build base for real world innovation, right? That is the core goal and forte for us. We are an IP idea generating machine, and that becomes our IP. And to power that idea and idea, to power the delivery on it, we get the right set of industry access. If the industry access is not present, at our team at the back end will go out and curate that access. So that's the power and forte that we bring.
Thank you.
Because academia is purely passion, industry is where we come from, right? So that's the access that we can actually curate across the board. But yeah, So, and then of course you can, I've shared the link. You can sort of play around, test it out, and see. And we are not also in the college admissions business by any form or shape. We don't want to get there. Our, again, as I said, our IP lies in understanding profiles, helping the use case for career transitions. We are building a proprietary algorithm in terms of scoring and ranking of these profiles. So today, how you have an SAT, GRE, GMAT, we are quantifying non-academic side of profiles, which is very, very subjective today and will also remain subjective for a large part of things. But this is where our IP comes from, this engine, because that is for non-academic profiling. It's completely a black box. Even today, you as consultants are you have patterns, you understand what the university needs, but a scoring and benchmarking, even if it is not shown to the student, helps understand what needs to move at what scale to get the desired career transition outcome, whether it's getting into college, whether it's getting into workforce, whether it's getting into leadership across the board. And then how do we go ahead and create that access is the mission for the company. How do we open the right research doors? How do we open the right industry doors? How do we sort of personalize it? Not you, so AI helps you deliver it, but how do you get the right set of mentors in person to align with you? All of that is what we power across the board. But if we power you as a counselor, because you are enablers, right? We think of us like the pharma company and you as doctors, right? So you know what the learners want, and you can personalize the journey. We can just become your backend team and assist you across the board. So that's how we operate. Yeah. So, having said that, yeah. So I think the presentation use case is clear. I've shown you what we do at Experiment Labs. Feel free to sort of explore, and happy to have a chat offline. One last thing that I would sort of want to showcase and have you walk away with is